So, it is Sandy's at Christmas time, and he's reading the Call of Cthulhu book.
What are you
the
doing?
new one. The 40th anniversary. No, that's not the 40th anniversary. That's just the regular.
No, this is the 7th edition.
7th edition, yeah.
Yeah.
That I like the 7th edition. Especially the... I like that the stats are all D100s now.
Well, I really like the fact that they got rid of the resistance table, which I was kind of saddled with from basic role-playing. I love not having a resistance table. I also
that's good for RuneQuest. But is it not?
No,
good?
it would totally work in RuneQuest.
Yeah.
Their system would also work in RuneQuest. I don't know if I don't know if the new RuneQuest has adapted it, but I like that system. Also, I love the idea of the bonus die.
Oh, yeah.
And the penalty die. That's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. I will say, you're even stealing that for a future game we can't mention.
I'm going to steal every good idea in here that I find for any future. If I ever write another role-playing game, I'm going to steal the good ideas. Yeah. I found a mistake.
Oh, yeah?
Here in the Investigator Handbook, page 46, it says the average human intellect is 50, but the average human die roll is 65.
Oh.
So maybe they're just trying to make the investigators feel good if they roll crappy and say, oh, you're average. You know,
that might be their. Mike Mason's a smart guy. That might have been his intent.
I don't think so. I think it's like with the Navajo rugs, where they have to weave in one error, or the gods will smite them and kill them. So Mike Mason's making sure that like Yog-Sothoth doesn't get on his.
Oh, that okay? Now that makes sense.
Anyway, yeah. This I don't know if this is identifiable, but this is the.
Oh yeah.
Fancy keeper rule book with the cover. I don't know if the cover comes in all of them or
Rick,
if I get a special one.
When I ask Rick...
I admit I didn't pay for it. I just got it free from...
Well,
because I'm an author.
Well, you know what happens with me? Every Gen Con, I go up to Rick and say, hey... Can I have these new public books? And so I don't have to pay for Call of Cthulhu stuff.
Awesome.
But I couldn't. There was no Gen Con for me to get that this year.
I listed as the author, and almost 100% of the words are not written by me.
Yes.
But I guess it's all based on rewordings of things I wrote in the past, so it's a fair cop.
Okay, so this is my main issue with the new 7th edition.
Oh wait, it's also awesome because the Dunwich Horror is totally Chapter 3. It's just like no comment. It's just like it's the Dunwich Horror. There you go. So I guess the idea is that if you didn't know anything about Lovecraft, you only heard a Call of Cthulhu, you could read a Lovecraft story. And in fact, the Dunwich Horror is a brilliant choice by Paul or Mike, whoever thought it up, because that's actually the story that I based Call of Cthulhu on.
Yeah,
because it's the one that has investigators.
Well, you were gonna call it Yog-Sothothery, right?
No, I was gonna.
Sorry, you call it American Gothic.
I never had a name for it.
Yeah, you were gonna.
It was good. My own homebrew name was American Gothic.
Okay.
Then Chaosium said they're gonna call it Dark Worlds, and that was cool. Then I said, how about Nemesis? And they said no, because Steve Perrin said that was a comic book name. Which
yes.
And then it became cool.
You've wanted to name a game Nemesis your whole career at some point.
Here, I'm gonna put these back on the shelf.
Okay, so this
is my bedroom.
You little snapshot of Sandy's bedroom. Okay, so
and look, your cover. There's both elder signs. You notice that the keepers have the wrong one, so they're not protected, and the investigators have the right one.
Yes.
So they are.
Okay, so here's my one issue with 7th edition. Daeloth. His illustration, all the illustrations are better, except for Daeloth, who is one of my favorite Great Old Ones, or Outer Gods, whatever he is. He's kind of, it's hard to tell.
In the first edition, this is the main one I was involved with. We didn't even have illustrations for all
yeah.
So
but he's like a gem monster. Yes.
Basically, my Chaosium stuff, goes on and on and on, and we don't get into non-Chaosium stuff till the third shelf.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my question: why do you think?
I guess this isn't Chaosium. This is me, but
So whatever. So Mike and Paul did a great job making 7th edition, right?
Look,
here's the question.
I liked those guys back when they were just in the Cult of Keepers doing game mastery stuff. I mean, not
one
just.
game Mike ran for me at a convention.
Just is a bad way to put it.
Was
they
amazing.
Were amazing keepers. So when I heard Cassium had hired Mike and that Paul was freelancing, they were going to do this, and that was cool.
Yes, I know, right? There's excellent. So here's the question: didn't they they kept the first adventure you made, The Haunting, or what's it called again? The Ghost House one. I can't remember what it's called.
It's called The Haunting. Let me double check to see if
didn't they?
Because I tweeted that it was in here. And I think it's actually in a separate, you download it or something.
Yeah.
So it may not.
Scenarios. Oh, they didn't. I missed it. Okay.
Yeah. But it's readily available.
Yeah, I was gonna ask why you thought they kept that first one, which is not bad, but not the best.
They kept it up to number 6, and I knew there was a version of it for this.
Oh yeah.
And so, and then when I tweeted it back a while ago. Then when I actually read it, I said, "Oh look, the haunting's missing." Oh well, it's still easily easy. You can get it as a PDF from Chaosium.
Well, the two they put are no doubt superior, so that's why.
No, the haunting's great.
I have played the haunting once. In
Everyone's
fact,
played it once. That's the point of
that
the
was
scenario.
the first time my wife ever played Call of Cthulhu was the haunting.
It was the very first scenario ever played in Call of Cthulhu. It was I was playtesting. It was before I knew all the implications of sanity. I knew the rules. Anyway, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you can see I have all these ancient things. And the other thing is that you notice that I'm not a good collector because, like, here's Cthulhu by Gaslight, the first version, which is like all worn out and old and crappy, and things are punched because these are all. I'm not saving them for Hereditary. Sorry, Arthur.
Wait, no. Okay.
There's all for play.
I'm just saying.
The games here that are most intact and perfect are the ones that I didn't like, so I didn't play them.
That makes
One of the
sense.
Orient Expresses here is pretty much intact.
Well, or they're newer. You haven't had a chance, but yes, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, all the old RuneQuest and Glorantha stuff are the most beat up, and also the Call of Cthulhu stuff, the old Call of Cthulhu stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest are the most beat up. I mean, my Paizo stuff isn't that beat up.
So, actually, here's a long scroll of Sandy's.
Those are chaos.
Oh yeah, that's not all chaos. So this is Sandy's role playing. That's like Dragon Magazine and Dungeon Magazine and similar.
And the folders are like my personal like addenda and stuff. These are, I think this is the Call of Cthulhu card game.
Yeah, no, that's Mythos.
Some of it's Mythos, some of it's the FFG game.
Right. I tried to steal this from you once, and you when you visited, you found it, and you brought it back.
Well, it's precious.
I know, but it's the deities and demigods.
But it has Cthulhu in it.
I'm sad that you I should have hit it when you came.
It totally has a completely unauthorized Cthulhu.
That was the one time I didn't take something that you didn't have doubles of.
If you want to know the story of Cthulhu in D&D before my time, you can look it up on Seth Skorkowski's YouTube channel where he actually interviews me about it.
Okay.
And then he corrects me when I got it
wrong. Superworld
played it a lot.
Is amazing. I love it. It's probably not the best superhero.
My games are kind of snuck in the middle of the Chaosium stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
I wanted to put in with the Cthulhu stuff.
Well, Planet Apocalypse is not Cthulhu. It's its own thing.
Well, I know, but I put it with my stuff. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, not everything is totally organized. The masks.
It's totally organized. Look how organized they are.
Yes, it is totally organized. You used to have every foreign language edition too. Do you still have it?
Yeah, they're upstairs in the attic.
Oh, okay. So this is not even all of
your... Well, here's one of them.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is actually before ArcLight. This is the old Hobby
What's
Japan
that up
version.
in the corner?
Where?
Products of the Chaos Society. This is Glorantha and RuneQuest mostly. Maybe some other things mixed in. It's definitely.
Oh, this is the log of my campaign I played in California.
Oh, Jeff, not Jeff.
It has a dedication to you.
That
Jeff Okamoto.
Yeah, Jeff Okamoto. It was Jeff. Yeah. Jeff Okamoto transcribed
early
it.
on, he was going strike rank by strike rank in the combats, and then he started to loosen up.
Yeah.
And he would say, "Okay, we want this."
You can find that online, I think. Well, I'm pretty sure this is not only is your language edition not here.
One of my first conventions in Europe, we auctioned that off for $900, which whenever I auction my stuff off at a convention, all the money goes to the convention. So
yes.
If you're buying something from me, the money is not mine. So if you want to give me money, come directly to me and give me money.
Or buy from Petersen.
Or buy from Petersen Games. Even then, I don't get the money directly. It goes into a big pot, and then all these vampires suck.
Oh, did you not get? Did Rick not send you the new? Oh, this is the new Prince Valiant. Yeah, I think so. They kickstarted this recently, like a year or two ago.
Yeah,
I got it. I kickstarted it too.
I remember Greg developing it.
Yeah.
It was like the last game he developed at Chaosium.
Oh, really?
Because he liked Prince Valiant.
Yeah.
Which I guess is still in the comic thing. I used to read it a lot when I was growing up. It wasn't my favorite comic, but it was decent. You know, it was kind of cool. The art was certainly very good.
Yeah. It was still running when I was in middle school, I think, and high school. I don't know if it's...
I'm sure it's undead now. It'll just run forever.
Yeah. So this might not be your full collection. And I'm not just counting about the language things because...
Here's the 4 language ones. Zoo Cthulhu looks like it's some kind of Slavic version.
You also have 4 sons that have pillaged parts of it from time to time. Except for the one time...
You're the worst pillager for the role-playing stuff.
I only take if there's doubles.
Grant is pretty
Grant's pretty rapacious. But I only take if you have doubles or triples.
So this is mysterious to me. So there's 2 Thieves World, and I'm pretty sure they're the same edition. So I think this one must have been out in the sunlight for a long time at one of our houses.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation for that. We had it in our campaign. Probably because we played it in our campaign. We played Thieves World.
Oh.
It was not.
I didn't know. Okay, remember in the campaign your longest campaign you ran with Guy, Rich, Frank, and me and Chris and all that.
Yeah.
So in that one, remember when we went to I think it was Sanctuary near
Refuge, we call it.
Refuge, yes.
This is Sanctuary.
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's Refuge, and I didn't know till afterwards that that was just the Thieves World city.
It's just
you just ran the Thieves World in our
except instead of hawk masks, we had duck masks.
Yes.
But that was actually a ploy. The evil ducks had introduced the duck mask idea as a rival to the hawk mask, and so, but it was so stupid that it was so dumb and obvious that even the players took a while to figure out that it is in fact a scam by the ducks, and it wasn't serious at all.
It was also the part where Rich he turned himself into a howler.
My games are always villainous trickster.
Oh yeah, like Blackbeak the duck.
I was thinking more like Daffy.
Yes,
right?
Yeah. Well, also that was the time.
Or like hobbits in old D&D. Like when I first played in D&D back in the 70s.
Yeah.
The hobbits were always ran the thieves guilds, and they were like these horrible thugs. And it's because
Bilbo's not a devious thief though.
Because
he's a real thief.
In the D&D rules, hobbits had a limit. They could no more than level 4 for combat as a warrior.
Oh yeah, they're terrible.
They couldn't be a magician, but they had no limit on thief. So they were like, or maybe it was a limit of 8. Anyway, they had a good limit. So everyone that played a hobbit became a thief.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with the fact that the most famous hobbit was a thief.
That's probably why Dave Arneson put that in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. To make them be good thieves. But the effect is that hobbits were in all the thieves' worlds in Assassin Guild, and it's hysterical. And so ducks, and because ducks, no matter how friendly you are to the ducks in the cartoons, they're always kind of bad guys.
Yes, even
Donald. Yeah. So and I portrayed him in every game where I had a duck, which isn't that often. I wasn't duck crazy. I know I'm talking about.
The only prominent duck was Blackbeak. Which the pirate
in our campaign,
but
no, there was villainous ducks though.
Yeah, a few times. Well, I was gonna say when we were at Refuge, that was a really high point of the campaign.
I have a story about Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah.
In the first campaign of Call of Cthulhu, a 13-year-old kid came. Ben Monroe later on wrote stuff. He showed up. He'd rolled up a character. He'd only played D&D before, and his first character was a deep one in a fedora.
Wait, what? How could he be? He was a deep one, like partial.
He didn't realize that you didn't play deep ones in Call of Cthulhu. Yeah. He said, he's not going to fit into the team.
It reminds me of the time when
he just assumed you could be anything.
Reminds me of the time when John and David Kuhn wanted to play RuneQuest because we had played some Call of Cthulhu, and then you had talked about Glorantha, and they didn't know much about it, and they were like, "Okay, we want to be." They looked at this like one of us wants to be a brew, and the other a Scorpion Man. Yes. And you're like, no, you can't be them. You
just look at the highest stats.
Yeah, probably.
Well, that's one of the great things about Call of Cthulhu is that not only are you guys with ordinary humans, but you're actually the whole thrust of Call of Cthulhu is that you are not even an exceptional human. Like for example, if you played Chill back in the day or one of those others. Horror games, you were always like a member of an elite squad or privy to the secret universe or the government funded thing. But in Call of Cthulhu, you weren't. You were trying to keep these things out of the hands of the government. Elite squads were usually corrupt and full of bad guys.
Usually in Call of Cthulhu, you're an investigator, so to speak, or private eye, but you're investigating things about the mythos.
You're pulled
not because you've chosen to initially, but you've been pulled into it somehow.
No, they're going after you, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. In Petersen's Abomination. There's a lot of that.
Well, it's the true underdog.
Yeah. Of course. That's why when you win, it's the proletariat overthrowing the aristocracy. The monsters being the aristocracy.
Well, yeah, near Alathotep's.
And you look at them both ways, like zombies are clearly a proletariat.
I'm not sure if Azathoth would think of himself as a...
Azathoth doesn't think, so it's not a thing. But he does control the entire universe. You can't get more monarchic than that.
That's true. Although, would Cthulhu consider himself an aristocrat?
He is the high priest of his race. So.
But would he still think of it in the concept of aristocracy?
Well, probably not. It's probably not birth for them. It's probably merit,
Well, that's okay,
because being better by birth is such a stupid idea that I can't believe that all the rational creatures in the Cthulhu mythos probably never follow it. They just always
always merit. Only humans have been like that.
The accident of your birth may give you extra attributes to make you better for ruling. Like, for example, if you're a fungi from Yuggoth and they surgically modify your brain to make it bigger, then you're a better leader. But it's not,
Oh my gosh! Wait, that's what the fungi do?
Well, of course they just carve each other into things. They
wait. That means okay. So in the fungi society, in the fungi from Yugoth, they don't really have a hierarchy the same way we would conceive of it.
They do, but it's not. But they make the hierarchy.
Right. But it's right. In other words, it's not. So, for example, you could argue modern day America, at least it's supposed to be somewhat of a meritocracy and a democracy. Those two things.
Well, it kind of is. If you go, at least if you go over multiple generations, people that were millionaires 2 generations ago, their descendants aren't millionaires now,
and of course,
they are when they weren't.
And of course, no system's perfect, but at least it's not like medieval times where it was birth. Almost exclusively,
right? You inherited all the stuff you have.
Right.
We don't inherit that much stuff. We might inherit a house or something.
Yeah.
But that's about it. If we enter our bank account, then we blow it on the lottery or something.
But anyway, but there's still hierarchies. I mean, there's a president, and so forth.
There's always going to be a hierarchy. Not having a hierarchy is also an idiotic idea.
Yeah.
So the Cthulhu monsters who are all rational don't have that. They have hierarchy.
So the fungi from actually, I don't like the Migo because that was not even.
I have a whole YouTube thing about how they're not the Migo. So go ahead.
But we all say the Migo anyway. But anyway, the fungi.
It's shorter than fun. It's right. It's 3 syllables less.
Right. So the fungi, but the thing is, in a hierarchy, those at the top are directing what happens at the bottom, or parts of what happens at the bottom, right? And so, I mean, that's the whole point of being on top. You're the leader, right? But no.
If you build your own ruler, why wouldn't you obey that guy? You designed him. Of course, he'll do everything he says.
Okay, let me ask you this: did those who
plus that ruler may have then it might be a cyclic, like the ruler may have then gone ahead and designed the new other worker drones to be more obedient.
Right.
So it kind of goes.
I do want to stay on Call of Cthulhu, but I have this one side question because
Can I go back to my room and read my Call of Cthulhu books?
No, wait. Question. I want to go to Glorantha for a second. When they created Nicelor. Yeah. In the council.
This is super obscure stuff.
Yeah, I know. But in the first stage of Glorantha, when they created Nicelor, here's the question. Did they create him to then obey him or to have him serve their purposes?
He was going to be their god. They were going to worship him.
Right. So he was going to they were going to obey him?
Probably. There was a bunch of guys in the conspiracy, and probably different guys had different ideas about what it would be like.
Well, that's true. And the trolls broke away first, right?
But the machine god, which was created in the Second Empire, was definitely to serve the people.
Okay.
So probably they were going to obey him in the first age, because the second age is where they got the idea of making the gods obey you.
Right.
Which is also the idea behind the chochos.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So, the chochos. I love your take on the chochos.
Yeah,
the chochos.
The
chochos, they started out as an obscure, these are an evil tribe of mythos of worshipping things.
The stories where chochos show up, they always seem like movers and shakers, not mindless cultists obeying the god.
Right.
So I wanted to keep them like that in personality and stuff I wrote.
Yeah.
So the chochos are, in fact, they're I mean, all the Lovecraft cults are atheistic. We're in it for the money kind of cults. Well, not the money, but whatever. Yeah. So they're doing it for a reward in this life.
Right.
They don't really have a theology.
Like black cultists might be in it for sex.
They might like orgies, right?
Right. And Crawling Chaos might be in it for power.
Or just knowledge,
Knowledge, yeah.
But the point is that the chochos, they have a tribal organization like a real human, not like cultists. Cultists might, they're embedded in human society like a cancer. Right. But the chochos have their own thing. So they get together and they have a bunch of guys and they have a whole society based around, in my mind, exploiting eldritch creatures for power.
Okay, so their path to power is exploiting the god they worship.
If we do this, and this, and this, then your Nyarlathotep will like it, and he'll be served, and he'll give us this other thing. And Nyarlathotep totally knows he's being used, right?
But he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
As long as they do what he says.
Right. I mean, he's probably also exploiting them in a way they don't even understand, right?
Well, or maybe they do understand it. It doesn't matter, because,
So that's why the chochos.
So he says, "I need 10 human sacrifice," and they say, "Does it have to be chochos?" He says, "Well, not really." And he goes, "Okay, on it."
Okay, here's my. I actually not sure where the chochos came from. Do you know who wrote them first?
I don't know where the first story is that said the word chocho. Okay. They are mentioned in Lovecraft.
Okay, but it might not be from Lovecraft.
They seem to have evolved. What?
It might not be him himself that first came up with them.
Someone said the loathsome Chocho tribe in one of the books and listing a bunch of terrible things. I don't know if it was Lovecraft or Clark Ashton Smith or someone else.
But is that old? That level?
It's that old.
It's not like Brian Lumley.
They were never used much. I mean,
I know it's not
the book with the most Cho-Cho stuff in it is Black Man with the Horn by Ted Klein. From the 80s.
T.D. Klein. Yeah, that's a great
I guess
one.
it's not really Ted, but it looks like Ted. So, like Jeb Stewart is actually J.E.B. Stewart, but everyone calls him.
Oh, really? General Stewart?
Yeah, General Stewart is J.E.B. Stewart.
I didn't know that.
Jeb.
Yeah. Okay.
So Ted Klein did Black Man with the Horn, which is the best Cho-Cho thing, and the Cho-Chos don't figure very. You see like one Cho-Cho on an airplane.
Right. He's the one with the horn.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
Oh, no, not at all. Cho-Chos aren't black.
Oh, yeah. They're Asian.
Yeah, well, in this one, they're Vietnamese.
Oh, right. Okay, here's my question. With the Cho-Cho,
how I portrayed them in.
So the Cho-Cho tribe, obviously they're an invented people, but the Cho-Cho, what if okay, that's a good response.
I totally saw a candy bar at the market that said Cho on it.
Yes.
So there's my
people have sent to Petersen games.
Oh yeah, we get so many pictures.
Of the two Cho-Cho guards.
So if you want to send me more evidence of the Cho-Chos, you need to do something besides the candy bars now, because we're on the candy bars.
Yes, we know that. Yeah. So here's the question: if you are born into a I'm assuming that the Cho-Chos as a society, as a culture, have decided they're in for the great old ones, right? So what if you're born into a Cho-Cho society and you are like, okay, I don't want to do what these guys are doing.
Well, speaking as a good Latter-day Saint, I think all humans have a conscience.
Well, yes, I know. In the context of Call of Cthulhu.
Probably you're sacrificed pretty young in that case, because you're not going to fit in with the buddies.
So
But here's the thing: the Cho-Chos, to my mind, though there might be occasional taints of something else with them, I think they're 99% human, unlike the Miri Negri, which were artificially built from the flesh of amphibians or reptiles.
Okay, so the Cho-Cho are not necessarily.
They're humans.
Well, they are humans, but they're not 100% humans. They're kind of like a deep one.
They may be a subspecies because their minds are not very human. They don't think like humans. They see other people.
Well,
They see other people's as something to exploit.
Right.
So in one respect is you could argue that they're all psychopaths, but they're not psychopaths in the regular human way, because they do worry about other Cho-Chos.
Right. And in reality, there's only one species of human, but.
There's
non-extinct.
only one surviving species of human, but there have been times when there was other ones, and so there could be other ones again someday, and I see no problem with having the Cho-Chos be one.
So maybe the Cho-Chos is its own species, a surviving
branch of Homo erectus that evolved to our level or something.
Right.
They're certainly smaller than we are, which doesn't make them a different species.
Right.
They aren't very different, but I think it mostly be a subspecies. They can clearly interbreed with humans.
But okay, so a deep one would technically be not a human species. A deep one, a child
deep ones
of a
are not
deep one.
humans.
Right. So a deep one that has the Innsmouth look and will one day become a full deep one. They are their ancestry is 50% human though.
Yes.
They're not human species though, because obviously they're half human and half something else.
The biology of the deep ones has not been extensively studied, but we know that they eventually become full deep one.
Right. So in a sense, the child of a deep one.
So it might be that the child of a deep one, that it's not so much that it has human genes, it has whatever deep ones use for genes, and and the human genes are like a subsidiary thing in the cell that it patterns its initial look on, and then gradually, maybe the deep one genes gradually eat the human genes.
Oh
so
my
by the time
goodness!
You've changed, the human genes are all gone.
Oh my gosh, the deep ones are amazing.
So maybe you start out all human with one little deep one gene that starts growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. The Cho-Chos don't work like that. If you mate with a Cho-Cho, you're half Cho-Cho.
I'm really glad that Lovecraft didn't actually explicitly do the part of the story that
Lovecraft did not explicitly
a sex scene.
Like that,
yes,
because he just said,
I do not want a deep one sex scene. That's hideous.
I stand with the cartoon strip I saw in which the characters are cats and other animals living in a urban society, and he shows two cats in bed with a blanket on them, and then his scroll over says, "I am not going to show two cats getting it on."
That's right.
Look elsewhere.
Yes.
So Lovecraft did that for us, and we're all grateful.
Have you done a Sandy of Cthulhu video on your take on all this, they have charts of family trees of all the outer gods?
I think those are completely
yes, I think they're stupid too.
Lovecraft made them as a joke, and we should treat them as a joke.
Right. So, but you never done a video about that.
I don't think Cthulhu is related in any understandable way to Seth Agua. He's not like his uncle or anything.
Right. Yeah.
They're just different creatures with different origins. I could do a video of that. I mean, I kind of did a video on the Elder. Well, video for a long time. I want to go back and read my book.
Yes. Okay, fine.
Some more.
Okay.